Let's jump right into this explainer. Here's something most investment courses literally never talk about. Some of the absolute best, most reliable market signals out there, they don't come from complex math or complicated charts or those insanely expensive data feeds. They actually come straight from your daily life. I call these personal indicators. Today, we're going to bypass all that typical financial jargon and look at how simply paying attention to your own neighborhood can give you an incredible edge in the market.
Just picture these two completely everyday scenarios for a second and ask yourself what they really mean for your next move as an investor. On one side, you've got packed restaurants, long queues out the door, people just spending money left and right. Then, on the flip side, you see empty tables, completely quiet shops, canceled vacation plans. Now, if you had capital ready to deploy right now, which one of these visual clues tells you it's actually safe to jump in and buy?
Okay, let's dive into this, because the answer almost always trips people up. You'd think it's the busy restaurant, right? Well, surprisingly, it's the empty tables that absolutely scream buy. Today, we're basically acting as economic detectives to uncover exactly why that is, and why doing the absolute opposite of what feels natural is actually the secret to market success.
So, let me formally introduce you to this concept of personal indicators. It's essentially the ultimate tool for reading where the market is heading, literally just by looking around you. It's a huge piece of what we call personal analysis. See, the stock market isn't just some giant math problem. It's heavily influenced by human psychology. And since human behavior is surprisingly predictable, you can figure out the emotional state of the entire economy just by watching what everyday people are doing with their time and their money.
Think of the market like a massive pendulum. It's constantly swinging back and forth. On one extreme side, you have maximum fear. On the other side, maximum greed. Now, this pendulum never just hangs perfectly still in the middle. It's always pushing toward one of these extremes. And your job as an investor isn't to perfectly predict the future with a crystal ball. It's simply to recognize which extreme that pendulum has hit and act accordingly.
All right, let's look at the first extreme, signs of market euphoria. This is when things hit maximum greed, and honestly, it's time to be super cautious.
When everyone around you is suddenly a stock market expert, when your Uber driver, your dentist, and even your grandmother are throwing out investment recommendations, that market is dangerously overheated. You'll log on, and your social media feeds are just flooded with young investors posting these crazy 1,000% gain screenshots, making everyone feel like an absolute genius. You'll see these free get-rich-fast seminars packed to the brim every single weekend because public participation is at an absolute fever pitch. And tying back to our earlier point, restaurant queues are out the door and retail shops are completely packed.
This brilliantly highlights a core truth. Peak consumer spending signals peak economic confidence. But here's the catch. In the stock market, peak confidence actually equals peak complacency. When investing feels completely effortless, like everyone around you is making super easy money, the market has reached its maximum risk level. It might be disguised as maximum safety, but this is literally the most dangerous time you could possibly be buying in.
So let's flip it to the other extreme, signs of market depression. When that pendulum swings all the way over to maximum fear, well, that's actually your time to start buying.
Now, as our resident economic detective, there's this fascinating behavioral quirk you should really look out for. It's called the lipstick effect. So during recessions and economic downturns, consumer spending aggressively shifts away from those big-ticket items, cars, fancy vacations, and moves towards small, affordable luxuries, like lipstick or cosmetics. Sales of these specific smaller items actually spike during a downturn. It's a pattern that's been heavily documented all the way back to the Great Depression.
Alongside spotting that lipstick effect down at your local retail store, there are other massive everyday clues. You're going to see major companies announcing mass layoffs in the headlines daily. Now, that clearly signals an economic contraction, but it actually often coincides with, or even slightly lags behind, the absolute stock market bottom. You'll also notice total utter silence about stocks in your social circle. The investing chatter completely dries up. And the media? It's just nonstop doom and gloom, with people loudly claiming that the economy will literally never recover, or saying this time is different. But you know what? History has proven those extreme narratives wrong every single time.
This whole concept is summed up perfectly by that famous golden rule from Warren Buffett. Be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful. But listen, you really have to realize this isn't just some catchy motivational quote you slap on a coffee mug. It's a precise, actionable playbook on exactly how to manage your portfolio using those everyday personal indicators we just talked about.
Going along with the herd is exactly why 80% of individual investors end up underperforming the market. The crowd panics in fear and sells at the exact bottom, right? And then they get completely drunk with greed and buy at the euphoric top. The contrarian does the exact opposite, but going against the crowd feels incredibly uncomfortable. That discomfort, that nagging feeling that the crowd must know something you don't, that is the ultimate psychological barrier separating truly wealthy, successful investors from the average crowd.
To make sure you're on the winning side of this, here is your simple contrarian playbook. Step 1. Observe your everyday personal indicators to figure out if the pendulum has hit extreme greed or extreme fear. Step 2. Stay completely calm while the crowd is panicking in fear, and use that specific time to buy. Step 3. Remain incredibly disciplined while the crowd is euphoric, and get ready to sell. And Step 4. Boldly act in direct opposition to public sentiment.
So I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative question to take out into the real world. Step outside today. Look around your own city, talk to your own social circles. Are you seeing an overheated environment filled with packed restaurants and grandmothers tossing out stock tips? Or are you seeing silence, layoffs, and a lipstick effect? What are your personal indicators telling you right now? And more importantly, what's your next move going to be?